Mr. Larson for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Neal. What an honor to be here with the Ways and Means family. They say pictures are worth 1,000 words, and I'm going to try to go through these as rapidly as I can. That first picture is my son and daughter, who came, as Mike was just explaining, as part of this family to the Edmund Pettus Bridge. But they had to be back in school the next day, and so they couldn't actually march across the bridge that Sunday. John said, wait a minute, that won't do. We put them in a car and drove them out there, and for 20 minutes, talked to them about that experience and what it was. And it was very tense, very graphic, and the violence that he endured and what they went through. And I could see both my daughter and my son looking at him, and they were taking it all in. And my daughter, very innocently, who was 13 at the time, said, Mr. Lewis, did you ever have any fun? And John Lewis put his head back and had the broadest grin. He says, well, sure, darling, we did. You know, at night, we used to go back and we'd pitch our tents and we make campfires and we sat around and told stories and we sang and we danced. And he said, I can still see Andy Young in his coveralls doing the jitterbug. And he could dance. Andy Young in his coveralls doing the jitterbug. Let me just say that I'll submit for the record our other items, but this iconic photo says it all about John Lewis. On the day that we passed the Affordable Care Act, the day before, he had been spat on. So was Reverend Cleaver, and so were others who were walking over here to vote on that bill that day. But John Lewis said no. We had a caucus that morning with President Obama. He says, say nothing of this. Remember that during the movement, we cast this aside. This is a distraction. Don't be taken in by this crowd. But we learned about it the next day, and at that caucus, I asked him to get up and address the caucus. And he said, let's stay calm, let's stay together, and let's make sure that we keep our eye on the prize. He went to walk away from the microphone, and then he stepped back, and he said, 45 years to the day, we marched from Selma to Montgomery. He says, and let me tell you, we face far worse crowds than are out here today. So let's lock arms. Let's go across that street and pass that bill. And we did. I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. Let me